I was always the one helping everybody, and I just thought that was a fine way to be until this happened, and then I had to ask for help.
Fame came fast for James Van Der Beek. When Dawson's Creek turned him into a global name, it looked like a dream come true. But dreams can crack under pressure. So how much pain can one man carry before it changes him forever? Join us as we uncover what really happened behind the scenes of his rise and the heartbreak that followed. The journey to becoming global. James David Van Der Beek was born on March 8, 1977, in Cheshire, Connecticut. He was the oldest of 3 children in his family. His mother, Melinda Weber, was a dancer and gymnastics teacher who once performed on Broadway and later ran a gymnastics studio. His father, James William Van Der Beek Sr., was a former minor league baseball pitcher who signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers and later worked in the cell phone business. From the start, James grew up in a family that gave him support and encouragement. His parents cared about his growth and helped guide him as he learned and discovered new things about life. Having both art and sport in his home helped him try out many activities while he was young. He was especially close to his mother, whom he credited for inspiring him and believing in his abilities. Throughout his life, her influence stayed with him. James had a brother named Jared, who was born in 1979 and later became a physical therapist after playing baseball in college. He also had a sister named Juliana, born in 1981, who prefers to live a quiet life outside the public eye. Though his siblings chose different paths, the family remained close as James grew into his career. They spent time together at family events, holidays, and milestones, and James often expressed his love for them publicly. As a child and young teenager, James liked sports and physical activities. He played American football, baseball, and even took part in track and field. Unfortunately, when he was 13, he had a head injury during a football game, and doctors told him to take a long break from sports. That pause led him to explore other interests, and he found himself drawn to acting and theater. He auditioned for a part in his school's production of Grease and won the role of Danny Zuko. That experience made him fall in love with performing. After that moment, James began to spend much of his free time doing theater work, and he found joy in being on stage and bringing characters to life. As he grew older, James's passion for acting grew quickly. When he was about 16 years old, his mother noticed his interest and determination, and she began driving him every day to New York City so he could meet with talent agents and attend auditions, hoping he would find opportunities in the entertainment world.
Yeah, I mean, especially in New York, when I started, I was like 16, and I auditioned for like a year and a half before I got anything.
After many auditions and meetings, James finally signed with an agent. He was still a teenager when he began working professionally on stage. His first major role was in an off-Broadway play called Finding the Sun, written and directed by the famous playwright Edward Albee. James's performance was well received, and even critics praised his natural talent on stage. That early experience taught him discipline and gave him confidence that he could make acting his life's work. At 17, while still a student at Cheshire Academy, James continued acting in theater. He performed in the musical Shenandoah at the Goodspeed Opera House in Connecticut, and he also appeared in his first films during that time. In 1995, he had a small role as a bully in the coming-of-age movie Angus. He followed that with a role in the romantic drama I Love You Not. Oftentimes, he would travel between Connecticut and New York for performances and auditions. James's early acting career included both films and theater roles, but his big break came in the late 1990s when he auditioned for a new television pilot called Dawson's Creek. In 1997, he auditioned for the part of Dawson Leary, an introspective teenager with dreams of becoming a filmmaker, and won the role. When Dawson's Creek premiered in 1998 on the WB network, it quickly became a hit worldwide. The show explored themes like friendship, love, family pressure, and personal struggles in a way that many young viewers could relate to. It ran for 6 seasons and made James a major television star. People everywhere watched and admired the sensitive and thoughtful character he brought to life. With the success of Dawson's Creek, James became one of the most recognizable young actors of his time. In 1999, he starred in the teen football movie Varsity Blues, where he played a talented high school athlete dealing with pressure from his coach and community. The film became popular with audiences, and James's performance earned him award recognition, including a Best Breakthrough Male Award at the MTV Movie Awards. His early success opened doors to many other projects in both film and television, and he soon became known not just for teen dramas, but for his ability to handle different kinds of roles. As his career developed, James took on a variety of roles that showed his range as an actor. After Dawson's Creek ended, he appeared in films like The Rules of Attraction, Texas Rangers, and Bad Hair, and in television series such as CSI, Cyber, Pose, and the comedy Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23, where he played a funny version of himself. He also competed on reality shows like Dancing with the Stars, and appeared on The Masked Singer, which showed yet another side of his creative personality. Meanwhile, James's personal life was just as full as his professional life. In 2003, he married fellow actor Heather McComb, but their marriage ended in 2010. Later that same year, on August 1st, he married Kimberly Brook, a business consultant, in a small ceremony in Tel Aviv, Israel. Together, James and Kimberly built a large and loving family. They had 6 children in the years that followed. Their first child, Olivia, was born soon after they married, followed by Joshua and Annabelle Leah, Amelia, Gwendolyn, and Jeremiah. As the years passed, James continued to embrace both his career and family life. In 2020, he and his family moved from Los Angeles to a larger property in Texas, so the children could grow up close to nature and enjoy space outdoors. He shared many moments with his kids, playing games, taking part in school events, and celebrating holidays. Through all of the ups and downs of fame and work, his family remained a central anchor, a source of love and strength that grounded him. However, his life and theirs would soon take a different direction, facing life's storm. James Van Der Beek could never have imagined how a simple part of his life would lead to something so serious. He was always active, took care of himself, and tried to live a healthy life with his family. But in the summer of 2023, something small began to happen to his body that he at first didn't take seriously. He noticed changes in his bowel movements that did not feel normal to him anymore. At first, he thought it was because of his diet. He believed maybe it was something like coffee or adding cream that was causing it, so he tried stopping certain things, hoping the problem would go away. But it did not improve, and he began to feel more concerned. This led him to visit his doctor and ask for more tests and a colonoscopy, which is a medical exam used to look inside the colon and rectum for problems. When James came out of the anesthesia after the colonoscopy, he still expected the doctor to tell him something minor. He thought maybe it would be nothing serious, something that could be fixed quickly. But then the doctor told him he had colorectal cancer. That meant there were cancer cells growing in his colon or rectum. He had stage 3 of that cancer, which means the disease was already quite developed, and it had grown deeper into the layers of his body. Hearing that news threw him off balance, because he had never felt sick before or thought something so serious could happen to him at such a young age. He said he went into shock when he heard the diagnosis, barely knowing how to react or what to think.
It is cancer.
It was a moment of fear and confusion. He had exercised, tried to eat healthy, and had no family history of the disease. So learning that he had stage 3 colorectal cancer made him realize that cancer can affect anyone, even those who seem healthy. That truth was difficult to accept. In November 2024, James decided to speak about his cancer publicly. He had initially kept the news mostly private and shared it only with his closest family and friends. But when the news began to spread through other sources, he chose to address it himself so that the story would come from him and not from rumors. He posted about it with honesty and courage, explaining how he had managed things privately but felt it was important to raise awareness. James often explained that his cancer journey had changed the way he saw life. During interviews, he talked about how he had come to view everyday moments more carefully, not taking anything for granted. He said he had started to slow down more, to pay attention to his daily routines, and to value rest itself. He even described his cancer battle as a full-time job, because dealing with the disease required constant attention to diet, exercise, rest, and medical care. Even though cancer was challenging him physically, mentally, and emotionally, James found ways to stay connected with his work. He appeared in some projects when his health allowed, including roles in television series like Elle. He described acting as a welcome distraction, something that let him focus on a character and the story rather than thinking about his illness. During one interview, he explained that being on set helped him forget about cancer for those hours, between action and cut, giving him relief. In a 2025 interview, James spoke openly about how his cancer journey. He used words that may seem surprising. He said that cancer had become the best thing that's ever happened to him in some ways, because it pushed him to make changes he otherwise would not have made, and taught him lessons about presence, self-love, and gratitude. He explained that before cancer, he did not fully understand how to appreciate small moments, but now he recognized that every day held meaning. Despite his positive attitude and openness, the reality of living with cancer was extremely hard. James was honest about the treatment and how it could wear down his body. He sometimes suffered from other health issues, including bouts with stomach viruses that added weakness and complications. These challenges sometimes made it impossible for him to participate in events he had been looking forward to, such as a Dawson's Creek reunion, which he had once hoped to attend but had to avoid due to illness at the time. Throughout his journey, James became an advocate for colorectal cancer awareness. He shared his story not because he wanted sympathy, but because he wanted others to learn from his experience. He emphasized that many people ignore early symptoms or delay screening, assuming nothing serious could happen to them. By speaking openly, he hoped to encourage others to listen to their bodies and to seek medical advice without hesitation. He spoke directly to his fans and followers, encouraging people to pay attention to their health and to go for screening even when they felt well.
Don't need to have symptoms in order to have this kind of cancer. So if you're of the age, talk to your doctor.
He especially spoke to people over age 45, reminding them that early screening can make a big difference. Many people responded to his message by getting screened early, something he later said made him feel that his efforts had already had a positive impact on other lives. James Van Der Beek's battle with colorectal cancer was long and complicated. At times, it brought him moments of hope, and at other times, it challenged him deeply. Every step along the way, he faced the journey with honesty, courage, and a willingness to share not just the pain, but the lessons he learned. His fight became more than a medical battle. It was a story of awareness, resilience, and the human experience of confronting one of life's greatest challenges. And it was this part of his story that led to another rediscovery: lessons from a loving heart. Perhaps the most important part of his cancer battle was how James talked about family. He shared that his wife, Kimberly, became his strongest support and his most devoted caregiver. She was with him through every step of treatments, appointments, and hospital visits, showing strength he never knew existed.
In this past year, in moments, stretches, there's not a moment that I would ever have wanted to trade with her.
He also spoke about his 6 children and how they inspired him to fight more and to continue doing all he could to be part of their lives. Their love gave him courage, even on the days when his energy was low and the treatments were tough. There are moments in life when people look back and think about what really matters most to them. For James Van Der Beek, those moments became clearer and deeper as time passed. He did not hold back his feelings. Instead, he chose to express them in ways that were true and heartfelt to the life he lived. He said that fatherhood changed everything and taught him selflessness and joy in new, powerful ways. Being a parent was not something small or ordinary to him. It was one of the deepest, most meaningful parts of his life. In many of his personal reflections, James spoke about how his 6 children helped him see the world through fresh eyes. He wrote that his kids had retaught him how to live, laugh, love, and show up in his own life and in the world. That simple statement showed how deeply he felt about the role they played in his life. To him, watching his children grow and learn was not just entertaining or joyful, it was a lesson in what truly matters in life. Being present in their lives helped him find meaning and purpose every day, more than any role he had played on television. Whenever James talked about his kids, he always showed pride in their individuality and personalities. He described how each child brought something unique to the family. In different interviews and posts, he shared how amazed he was by the way his children handled life and how they grew into themselves. His praise was sincere and full of love, and he never shied away from showing gratitude for being their father. The joy he felt wasn't hidden. It was open and evident, and many people saw it when he spoke about his family. James also reflected on how being a father taught him about unconditional love. For him, love was not just a feeling, it was action. He said that he learned to care for others with his whole heart, and that supporting his children became one of the greatest honors of his life. In many of his posts and interviews, James acknowledged how much his wife, Kimberly, meant to him as a co-parent and partner. He gave credit to her for the way she helped raise their children and for the way she supported their whole family. His gratitude for her dedication was clear and heartfelt. When he talked about his family, James never made it seem perfect or easy. Instead, he talked about real life, with its ups and downs. He once reflected that even in moments that seemed ordinary, there was something precious. He encouraged people to notice those moments, instead of waiting for big occasions to feel joy. He said that love was made stronger in everyday life, not just in special events. This perspective resonated with many people who followed him, because it reminded them of the value in small things. One of the most powerful things James shared was how his own identity changed through parenthood. He once explained that before becoming a father, he thought a lot about himself and his career. But when he became a dad, his priorities shifted entirely. His focus was no longer on what he wanted for himself, but on what he could do for his children and for his family as a unit. He said this shift was the craziest thing he had ever done, and it was also the source of the greatest joy he had ever known. In many of his reflections, James talked about the way his children helped him grow emotionally. He said they taught him patience, humility, and deep empathy. He often said that parenting made him a better person, and that every day with his kids was a gift he counted carefully. He spoke about how the presence of his children encouraged him to be more thoughtful and more connected to the world around him. In his view, family life was not a distraction from the world. It was the heart of everything that truly mattered. But the depth of James's reflections went even beyond everyday gratitude. He also spoke about life's meaning and about how love defines people more than any career or accomplishment ever could. For him, the memories made with his children and the bonds he shared with his wife were the most important parts of his story. He believed that the strength of these relationships was what gave life meaning, and he spoke about them with warmth and vulnerability that few people could ignore. In every message he shared about family and love, James Van Der Beek made it clear that he saw beauty in life's most basic connections: laughter, support, teaching, hugging, sharing meals, playing games, and enjoying quiet time together. These reflections were not distant ideas. They were lived experiences that shaped who he was. By speaking openly and with deep emotion, he gave many people a reminder of what love truly looks like in practice: constant, caring, imperfect, and full of tender moments. Sadly, it did not last that much longer. A farewell too soon. When the world learned of James Van Der Beek's passing on February 11, 2026, it was a shock that spread quickly across news outlets, social media, and among people who had watched him on screen. His wife, Kimberly Van Der Beek, made the announcement on Instagram early that morning, writing that he had passed peacefully and noting that he had met his final days with courage, faith, and grace. His family asked for peaceful privacy as they mourned, showing that, even in great sadness, they wanted space to process their grief together. James was 48 years old when he passed away, leaving behind a large family and many people who admired him. In Kimberly's words, he was not just a public figure, but a loving husband, father, son, brother, and friend. That phrasing showed how many roles he played in life, and how deeply the people in his circle felt connected to him.
He leaves a space behind that can never be filled, but he leaves the legacy of all the people that love him.
In the days that followed, tributes poured in from fans, friends, and people from the entertainment world, many of whom spoke about James's kindness, warmth, and humor. While many people offered tribute and support, his family also faced practical concerns during their period of mourning. Friends and loved ones launched a GoFundMe campaign to help support Kimberly Van Der Beek and the couple's 6 children, after James's long battle with illness had depleted much of the family's resources. The message on the fundraiser explained that the family needed help covering basic living costs, educational expenses for the children, and maintaining stability in a time of deep sorrow. Within just a short time, the campaign surpassed $1 million in donations and continued to grow as people around the world contributed. This outpouring of support showed how many people felt connected to James's life and wanted to help his family navigate an uncertain future. While many people praised the effort and supported it, a few critics questioned why the campaign had been started pointing to the family's ranch property and financial history. In response, other celebrities and supporters defended the campaign, explaining that the entertainment industry does not always guarantee long-term financial security for actors and their families, and that community support in times of crisis is common and important. These discussions showed both the generosity and the complexity of how people react to the private struggles of public figures. However, the widespread support showed how deeply he was loved. Beyond the monetary support, there were many small stories of comfort and care shared among James's circle. Close friends expressed their ongoing commitment to helping his children. One of the actor's close friends, Alfonso Ribeiro, revealed in a tribute that he was the godfather to James and Kimberly's daughter Gwendolyn, a role he described as one of the most important parts of his life. He spoke about how deeply he valued James's friendship and how he would continue to support the family going forward. James's wife, Kimberly, whose life was deeply intertwined with his for many years, also continued to publicly honor the connections they shared with others. A few days after his death, she shared a message of love and support following the death of another actor friend, showing that even in deep grief, she remained committed to community and compassion. Her words reflected a shared sense of loss and friendship that went beyond just her own family's sorrow. All of these moments formed a complex web of mourning and reflection. In every reaction, people tried to express what James Van Der Beek meant to them. The laughter he brought, the characters he embodied, the family he built, and the human connection he shared with millions of viewers. His passing was not just a news event. It was a moment of shared grief that touched many lives, showing how deeply a single person's life can be felt in both private families and in the wide world of audiences and friends. A legacy well remembered. In the immediate hours after the announcement, his family's statement spread across social media and news sites. People shared memories and expressions of sorrow that spoke to how much James meant to so many people around the world. Many people who had followed his career since Dawson's Creek felt a personal sense of loss, as if someone from their own life had passed. Messages ranged from simple words to stories about how his work on television had shaped people's youth and left a lasting impact on their memories. In the days after his funeral arrangements were made private, many people continued to share messages of love and remembrance. Many of the tributes focused on his role as Dawson Leary, a character that helped shape a generation of television viewers. That role was more than just a job. It became a cultural memory for people who grew up watching his performances in the late 1990s and early 2000s. Co-stars from the show also joined in remembering him, writing about how special he was both on and off camera. Among the people mourning James were his former co-stars and close friends. Some wrote long messages on social media about how much of a friend he was. Kerr Smith, who acted alongside him in Dawson's Creek, called him his brother and spoke about how grateful he was for their friendship. Other cast members shared memories of filming together and the bonds they had built over years of working side by side. These tributes showed how James's presence in their lives went far beyond the hours they spent on set. One of James's co-stars, Katie Holmes, shared a handwritten note that expressed the deep connection they had formed while making Dawson's Creek. In her message, she thanked him for the experiences they shared and reflected on the laughter and conversations about life that marked their time together. She called his journey the journey of a hero, capturing both admiration and deep respect for the life he led and the struggles he faced. Her words were emotional, emphasizing how much she valued their shared history. Many of James's other Dawson's Creek co-stars also posted emotional remembrances. Busy Phillips, another cast member, wrote that he was one in a billion and that she felt deep sadness at his passing. She spoke about their friendship that lasted long after the show ended, highlighting how he was more than just a colleague. His presence had shaped their lives beyond the screen. One tribute came from actor Reese Witherspoon, who worked with James on a project shortly before his passing. She wrote that he was an extraordinary, talented man who showed great kindness and grace in everything he did. She asked that angels watch over his family during the time of their grief. The Dawson's Creek series itself also issued a statement remembering James's iconic portrayal of Dawson Leary and how his work helped define a generation of television for fans. That acknowledgement from the official account of the show showed how integral he was to its identity, even decades after the series first aired. In addition to reactions from friends and colleagues, Many fans around the world expressed sorrow and remembrance online. They posted memories of watching his shows, talked about what his roles meant to them, and shared photos and messages that celebrated his life and work. Some fans mentioned that his characters helped them through important moments in their own lives, and they wrote that his passing felt like losing a piece of their own self. As the world continues to remember James Van Der Beek after his passing, his legacy is defined not only by the characters he played, but by the connections he made with people, from his co-stars and friends to fans who watched him on screen and felt as though they knew him personally. The reflections shared publicly placed a strong emphasis on his warmth, his generosity, and the way he treated others, which many people say will continue to be remembered long after the news fades from headlines. So, how do you remember the life and legacy of James Van Der Beek? Let us know your views in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe to this channel. Before you go, watch the other videos on your screen.